Okay, so this is cycle 3. This is algebra enrichment, cycle 3. Notes on not only we're talking about combining like terms, but also now solving equations, one-step equations, two-step equations, and then multi-step equations. So from what I've heard, you have seen just a little bit of what we're going to do today. So hopefully a little bit sounds familiar. When you're solving equations, like for example, here's an equation, x plus 15 equals 21. How do we solve for x? How do we get x by itself? And that's generally what your mission is when you're solving any equation, is to get x all alone, okay, on the side that it's on. So, we try to get everything away from the x. Okay, imagine if you're playing tag, and x is it, and so everything else is trying to get away. So there are various ways to move things away, and how we move things away is what's called inverse operation. So what I usually do here is I tell my students to draw a line through your equal sign. Okay, pick the side, or look at the side that the x is on. Now everything else that is on the same side as the x needs to move over to this side. Well, how do we do that? Well, we do again what is called inverse operation. So this says x plus 15. So if I want to move the plus 15 over to this side, I need to do the inverse operation, or whatever is opposite of what's going on. So this is x plus 15. So the opposite of addition, see, we're up here now, opposite of addition is subtraction. Okay, so to move this 15 over, we're going to subtract the 15, and then also move it over and subtract 15 from this side as well. That's a 15 right here. Draw a line underneath, kind of make like a little upside down T. Okay, and then you'll see here plus 15 minus 15, that should cancel. If you were to combine those, 15 minus 15, it should be 0. Okay, so that's how you get rid of it on this side. Now, the only thing left on the left side is the x. And here's my equal sign. I bring it down. And now I have 21 minus 15 is 6. And that is solving an equation. Okay? So, what are some of the other opposites? Okay, what is the opposite of multiplication? Okay, the opposite of multiplication is division. And the opposite of subtraction is addition. The opposite of division is multiplication. These are things that you're going to need to know, because you need to look at whatever is going on and think to yourself, I need to do the opposite to get rid of that number, or move the number to the other side. As we look at number 2, you'll see a negative 3x equals 42. Again, here's my variable. I'm going to put a line through my equal sign. I need to get this negative 3 over here. So you have to think to yourself, what is going on here? What is going on between the negative 3 and the x? Okay, if you guessed that there's multiplication going on, you're correct. Okay, this negative 3 is being multiplied to the x. So, in order to get rid of the negative 3, I do the opposite, which the opposite of multiplication is division. So we divide by negative 3. Divide by negative 3. To the other side too. Don't forget to do it to the other side. These negative 3's on the left-hand side will cancel, as they should. Okay, so now the only thing left, okay, on the left side is the x. On the right, we have 42 divided by negative 3. Okay, 42 divided by negative 3, a positive, dividing by a negative, okay, and that is negative 14. Okay, let's go down and try these ones here. Now, again, I'm going to draw my line through my equal sign. Just got to get in the habit of doing that. It helps, trust me. Okay, look at what is going on. The x is on the left side, so everything except for the x needs to move to the other side. So this 3 on the bottom, that needs to go. It needs to go over here. So how do we do that? Well, look at what's going on. This is x divided by 3. X divided by 3. Okay, so in order to get rid of the 3, I need to do the opposite of division. And if we look up here, the opposite of division is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply this side by 3, and I'm going to multiply this side by 3. On the left side, just like in all the other problems we have done, if you look up here, okay, and if you look over here, and if you look over here, this is going to cancel with that 3 on the bottom. Now, as I draw my line here, the only thing left on the left side is the x. On the right, I now have 6 times 3. Okay, 6 times 3 is 18. And there you go. Here, I have, again, solving for x, draw my line. My x is on the left side, so everything else except for the x, everything else needs to go away, needs to go over here. So I have this negative 6. So look at what is going on. I have x minus 6. Okay, so that's a minus, so that's subtraction. So if I go up here and I look, I go, okay, the opposite of subtraction is addition. That means I know I need to add 6 to this and do the same thing to the other side. Draw my line. Again, just like all these problems, these are going to cancel. So what's left on the left hand side is the x. Bring down my equal sign. And then you have negative 4 plus 6 is 2. Okay? Those are simple one-step equations. Now, as we get into a little bit further here, you're going to see that they have multi-steps. There's a couple numbers you have to get rid of. So when we look at this problem here, if I draw my line, you'll see that not only do I need to get rid of a 6, but I also have to get rid of a 2. So the question becomes, what do I do first? Do I get rid of the 2 first, or do I get rid of the 6 first? Does it even matter? Well, the answer to that is yes. Okay? It does matter. It actually matters greatly. So which ones do you do first? Okay. You always want to get rid of the numbers that are by themselves first. Okay. You don't want to do the ones connected to the variables first. You always want to do the ones that are by themselves. So the 6 is by itself, so I'm going to do that first. Okay, I have 2x plus 6. So in order to get rid of the 6, I have to do the opposite of addition, which is subtraction. So I'm going to subtract 6. Subtract 6. Subtract 6 from both sides. Just like all the other problems, this is going to cancel. But what I have left now on the left is a 2x. And then the equal sign. 18 minus 6 is 12. Now we have a problem just like we had above in a one-step problem. So I still have to get rid of the 2. So I need to figure out what's going on here so I know what to do. Well, if you guessed that there's multiplication, again, you are correct. This is 2 times x. So in order to get rid of the 2, I need to divide by 2. Divide this side by 2 as well. The 2's will cancel out, and I'm going to work over here just so I have some room. So now on the left I have x, and then equals, and then on the right, 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay, so those are multi-step equations. Now, sometimes the x is not on the left side, it's on the right side. Well, that's perfectly okay. It doesn't matter actually what side the x is on. The only thing you need to understand is, okay, the x is on the right, so it needs to stay. And so we need everything over here other than the x to go over here. Okay? Again, work with the number that is by itself first. So I have 15x plus 25. Well, to get rid of the plus 25, I need to subtract 25. And I'm going to do the same thing onto this side. Okay. Over here, just like in all the other problems, they're going to cancel. Over here, you have to do some subtraction. Be careful here. Okay, negative 20, and then if I subtract, I'm going to get more negatives. So this should, negative 20 minus 25 is negative 45 equals, and then on the right side, I have my 15x. Again, just like in this problem, okay, you have multiplication here. I have 15 times x. So in order to get rid of 15 times x, I need to divide by the 15. The goal is to keep the variable on the same side the entire time. Okay, this variable stays. Don't do anything with the variable. Everything else needs to go. So I divide by 15, divide by 15. These will cancel, okay, on this side. And on the left side, negative 45 divided by 15. We do that, negative 45 divided by 15 is negative 3. Equal sign comes down, and then on the right side is x, and you're done. Okay. I had you guys do these. Just follow what I do up here. They're virtually the same type of problem to do these problems here. And then finally, now we're just barely going to get into multi-step because we're going to be doing multi-step in cycle 4 as well. But multi-step is doing more than 2 steps to solve the problem. And you can kind of see here what needs to be done first before you can do anything. So again, I have what's going on here. But whenever you see distribution like this, whenever you see that you can distribute, you always want to do that first. So over here, I want to distribute this first before I do anything. Okay, so on the left now, 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 4 is a positive 8. And then my 16 just comes down because I didn't do anything with the 16. Equals 0. Okay, now what do you think you can do? What probably should be the best thing that you can do right now? Well, probably combine like terms. Okay, because here I have an 8 and a 16. I can just group those into 1. I don't need to subtract the 16 over and then subtract the 8. Just combine them into 1 and then move them over. So 8 and 16 are like terms, so I'm going to combine the 8 and the 16. Well, 8 and 16 makes 24. So now on the left, I have 2x that just came down, and plus 24 equals 0. Now it turns into just what you did up here, which is just a 2-step problem. So I draw my line, move the numbers that are by themselves first. Okay, 24 is going to move. It's plus 24, so I'm going to subtract 24. Subtract 24. It's going to cancel. Okay, and then I'm going to work my way over here. Let's move this over here so I have some room. On the left now, if I look over here on the left, all that's left is the 2x. Okay, and on the right, I have 0 minus 24. 0 minus 24 is negative 24. Okay, and then finally I have 2 times x, so to get rid of the 2, I have to divide by 2. Divide by 2. Cancels, so x equals negative 24 divided by 2, which is negative 12. Okay? So, and then number 10 is very similar. You're going to want to combine like terms 15x and negative 7x and then start moving things over. If you have any questions, please send me a message on Canvas. I'll be sure to answer them as soon as I can. Thank you, and this is Algebra Enrichment Cycle 3.